Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. We continue with football. Jamaica's long-awaited return to international football did not go to plan as they were blanked 3-0 by Saudi Arabia in the first of two friendly internationals on Saturday at the Prince Faisal bin Fahad Stadium in the capital, Riyadh. Salim Al-Dawsari, Saleh Al-Sheri and Firaz Al-Barakan, the goal scorers for the Saudis. The result marked the first for Jamaica in 7 games. The two will again do battle on Tuesday at the same stadium. Well, joining us now on Zoom is Jamaica-based sports analyst and performance management specialist, Owen Hill. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you. So I'm going to start with, where did the Reggae Boyz make errors? Where did they lose that match?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I'd probably say, the defeat for Jamaica pretty much started from pre-game, a number of challenges that the team faced. Even just arriving, Coach Whitmore didn't have his full complement of players even 24 hours before the game. So I must feel it for him. I think he significantly was affected by that because, as a coach, you'd not want to be uncertain of your lineup. I think there are some issues as well, some internal squabble that happened, which probably unsettled the Reggae Boyz, I think. And as a result, on the pitch, a number of players who were playing pretty much for the first time, I thought they had very tough outings.
Definitely. And of course, the new addition, Ravel Morrison, after the match, he spoke in an interview and he said the first time the team actually played as a unit was on Friday. And of course, the match was on Saturday. He said, he sees a lot of potential in the team, and moving forward on Tuesday, he sees that the team will show a lot more potential. Do you see that happening?
Well, I hope so. I mean, just as a Jamaican first and foremost, but then based on the complement of players that would be available for Tuesday's game, I think more than likely it will be a much better showing. As we saw in the second half, a number of players were inserted, and I think Coach Whitmore saw glimpses of what he would have wanted. You saw where the introduction of Ravel Morrison, you saw where Leon Bailey, Michael Hector, these players came in, they're seasoned professionals, and they've been playing pretty much from the restart. And I think they would have added a great impetus for the team going forward. So hopefully tomorrow, these players will be within the starting lineup. And because of their professional setup, even though that they have not played consistently together for a number of months now, I think just by the fact that they're professionals, I think they should have a better showing.
Yeah, Owen, a lot has been made of Whitmore still searching around for players, and he has been the coach for a few years now. There's the view that he should, in his mind, have a more settled roster, a more settled nucleus. We saw where Kevon Lambert, who normally plays as a holding midfielder, was apparently in a central defensive role on the weekend and looked a little bit out of position based on all of the analysis of the game. Would that have been a problem that was triggered by, I'm talking Lambert specifically now at central defense, by the availability of his fit players, or is it that there is a genuine problem with him settling on central defenders?
Well, you brought up a very good point, Lance, and I think a lot of football lovers across the country and by extension the diaspora would be saying the same thing. As a coach, you want to have a settled 11, pretty much sure picks every single time you step on the park, barring injury. I think the challenge with Coach Whitmore, he's trying to fit players in, and as they come at his disposal, depending on whether or not they're released by their clubs, and also form, I think he has a challenge in settling on an 11, and it's rather unfortunate, but it's one of those situations that you just have to deal with. As you saw, and you noted rightly, Lambert, who is not a central defender at this level, I would say, he had to be slotted in, and then that was just, shambolic defensively for himself and Damian Lowe, and I think it made matters worse when you have a number of youngsters in a team that are not experienced at this level, even in front of you. So I think for Whitmore and company, they need to actually at least have a nucleus of players that they're consistently playing with over a period of time, so they'll understand each other and they'll fit in, slide in, as soon as possible. But new players need to get a chance to shine, and I think that's what is happening now. A number of players would have been asking, local players, local-based players that is, they would have been asking for their opportunity. I would say whenever they get a chance, they need to show, and I think so far that has not been the case, especially in Jamaica.
Yeah. Is there anything coming out of the weekend match, Owen, that would give you confidence going into the second and final match of this two-game series on Tuesday, that the Reggae Boyz could get a more favourable result?
Well, I would say, just looking at the game, it's not that the Saudis were totally dominant. Jamaica had even possession, I would say. I think they had a number of chances that they, if they got their passes more crisp, it would work. And again, just hoping that these professional players come into the lineup, these stars at a certain level. We're talking about the Barclays Premier League, we're talking about the German League. These players should come in and make a significant difference. So hopefully going forward, fit and ready, this Jamaica team, this contingent of Jamaican players, they should be able to at least get a more favorable result, because I think that 3-0 outing wasn't a true reflection of the quality of the team that is in Saudi Arabia now.
All right, Owen, Wayne here. Let me ask you one question about the style or the philosophy of our football. The way I see it, they push the ball around between the first defenders at the back, and once they get close to the half-line, there's a long ball. We consistently are continuously just playing long balls, long balls. We don't see anyone running off the ball, running into space, trying to penetrate inside of the middle, or they have a style where they're going on the outside, they're going to attack from the wing, from the flanks, left or the right side. Aren't you concerned the way we play our football with these constant long balls?
I am concerned. I must say that I tried playing football a little in my youthful days, and even being exposed at a certain level, you want to think that keeping possession of the football is probably the best way of attacking and defending. The reality is we've been accustomed to seeing international teams, whether it be at the club or the country level, playing possession football. So we have been now accustomed to seeing players holding the ball, especially defenders, goalkeepers, which normally wasn't the case. The challenge we have in Jamaica is that a lot of our players are not accustomed or in totality to always do that. So I noticed that whenever we go forward and there's a roadblock, for argument's sake, if it is that the player is not seeing a pass, instead of keeping possession, they try to force it. Generally, that's a challenge. And I think from a philosophical standpoint, we need to adjust. Speaking of philosophy, I noticed that we had played 4-1-4-1 as a formation. Probably in my time, never have seen that in Jamaica's history, playing that kind of formation. However, I think it's a step in the right direction. If we have the right players, I think we're able to really pick passes and do damage to other teams. We just need to have that consistent crop of players knowing their roles and playing that. Because I think when you slot players in and out of the team and they're unsure of which position to play, that's when you have balls being kicked long and just hoping. It's now route one football, and that's not going to get you results at the international level, because you're playing with more organized, set up more organized teams, and they're not just going to have you play route one and expect to beat them.
Definitely, we're hoping for a better showing from the Reggae Boyz come tomorrow. Thanks again, Owen.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, performance management specialist and sports analyst Owen Hill. So Lance and Wayne, come tomorrow, do you see the Reggae Boyz, of course, getting their stuff together and dominating?
Dominating is a harsh word or a strong word.
Okay, can they eke a win out? Scrape a win?
I would think Saudi Arabia, being at home and looking the more accomplished team at the moment, should be favoured to win again. I would hope, though, that the Jamaican team would be a little tighter than they were on Saturday. Yeah. Just a quick comment on Wayne's question to Owen about the long ball. In 2016, when they were at the Copa America Centenario in the USA, Winfred Schaefer was the coach at the time. Yeah. It's something that, as journalists, we had put to him. And it's easy for Wayne and others to sit aside and criticize them for playing the long ball, long ball, long ball. But what the coaching staff had assessed at that point was that the regularity or the rate at which Jamaica loses the ball in the midfield area, passing the ball around, was too high against high quality teams. So they saw as a better option to get the ball out of that area, and with fast attacking players, in many instances faster forwards than the defenders that they're facing, and optional strategies to get the ball up forward as quickly as possible and hope that your forwards can do something fruitful for the team.
Yeah.
So it is a case of the kind of midfielders that you have, Wayne. I see you laughing, but if you don't have the material in midfield to push the ball around clinically, it makes no sense to go that route if you're going to be losing the ball all the time.
Lance, listen, even English football,
yes,
they have abandoned that idea of keep. You watch English football now, it's fast paced,
yeah,
but move the ball around.
Yeah,
no longer are you see the ball coming over the top from the central defender.
My question to you, Wayne, is that do you think the Jamaican midfielders are as good as the English Premier League midfielders?
I'm talking about the style. I'm not comparing the quality.
I know, but the quality, the style that you are going to play has a lot to do with the quality that you have.
Listen, Lance, listen. I just think our footballers, if you ask me, I'm a cricketer, I'm watching football.
Yes.
I find our footballers, they're not fit and they're lazy. Honestly, because they don't move off the ball. Once the ball, I have the ball in the middle of the field, close to the 18, the center circle.
Yeah, Wayne.
I don't see anyone moving. They just stand there waiting for the ball to come for them. Nobody's running into space, trying to distract, carry somebody with them.
Yeah.
I just find that our
I think the coaches have a problem, though. It's easy to criticize the coaching.
I'm not criticizing, I'm asking
questions.
questions.
Something to definitely work on, gentlemen. We go to break and we come back.